joined by a two-time Coach of the Year, a guy looking for a division win. Let's hear it for Ron. This is hours after practice, and these fans are still out here. Talk to me about that.
It's been an amazing thing. It really has. You know, since the transition of ownership has happened, you know, we've had a huge surge in ticket sales. We have a huge surge of interest in this organization again. And it's been really cool because, you know, I've said this a long time. This is one of the franchises that started back in 1932. The fan base has been tremendous, and to have them back here, that's been pretty awesome.
Jahan Dotson, I had Sam Howell all talk about how meaningful it is that they're out here with this new energy, and that's how they're feeling the change from old leadership to new leadership. You're involved a little bit higher and above them. What is the biggest difference that you're feeling so far in this camp?
Well, I think the biggest thing has been the players' energy. I mean, just their approach, and a lot of it has to do with the folks being out here for practice. You know, you see them around. They're coming in droves. I mean, last Saturday was unbelievable. It really was. The crowd was spectacular, and the players felt it. In fact, when we were doing a kicking drill, and Chase got the fans cranked up for the kickers, putting a lot of cheering and put a little bit of pressure on them. It was really cool to see.
Yeah. Speaking of pressure, new leadership. This is not the first time you've seen and lived through this. Of course, with Carolina, what have you learned, or what happened there that you're sort of is similar, or that nobody's gone through this twice, Coach?
I have.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest thing I've done more than anything else is really try to engage a little bit more with ownership. You know, when I did it in Carolina, probably that was my biggest mistake. You know, with Mr. Tepper there, the biggest thing I should have spent more time with him, trying to see exactly what he was looking for, what the direction was, what type of atmosphere he wanted created. Here with Mr. Harris and his group, you know, every opportunity I've had to converse with them, meet with them, I've done so, and just trying to get some more background and ideas and stuff like that.
Is he accessible? Because some owners, you can't really call them or get to them, and they're a little bit more hands-off. It's more of an investment than wanting to come in and actually change the culture.
But I think this is one of the big differences between Mr. Harris and a lot of other people is just, you know, this is what he does. If you think about it, he's got a basketball team, he's got a hockey team.
Right.
He has a soccer team, Crystal Palace in England. So he is a sports guy. So now this is just another one that he has, and he wants it to be successful just like he has with the other ones.
When I think about you, I think about your sort of pillars are, what are you like as a human? What kind of a man are you? Also toughness and also integrity. Do those pillars match up with Josh Harris? Or are you on the same page?
I believe we are. I think, you know, listening to the press conference, listening to him talk about culture, you know, and then saying, hey, you know, they have done some really nice things in reestablishing the culture here. And that was one of the things that I was brought here to do. You know, the previous owner, that was one of the first things he said, Ron, I need you to help me rebuild this culture. Well, that's what we've been trying to do in the last few years, and we've been successful in heading it in the right direction. So now with Mr. Harris, that was one of the things I wanted to make sure that I was in line with. He was in agreement with things that I believed in, and so far things have really gone in that direction.
Is there something that you're surprised that he's interested in, as something that makes him unique? Like, why does he care about this? Or like, that's interesting.
You know, I will tell you one of his philosophies is this is not just about a team. We're not just co-workers. This is about an organization becoming truly a team, a family. And those two words are almost synonymous in terms of team and family. And he means it. He had his wife here today at practice. We just got done meeting with a group of the players. He and his wife meeting with them together, talking to these guys about what's important to them. And one of our players did say, hey, you know, when we go to the game, just knowing our families being taken care of, our families are in a safe place, that takes a load off our minds, so we go out and play football. And that's the kind of answer I think that he was looking for.
Coach, the sky seems to be the limit for this team. There's that new energy you're talking about. It's trickling down. You've been trying to change the culture. I know it increases pressure, but the team's in a good spot, sort of flying under the radar a bit, especially because nobody knows anything about your quarterback.
Yes.
Teach me about your quarterback.
Well, I will say this. One thing is he's got a very good arm. He really can make all the throws. You people say that. This is not a cliche with this young guy. This guy's got that kind of ability. He's a smart young football player who knows the game, you know, and I feel really good about him and his abilities, and I feel good about Jacoby Brissett. You know, having the two of those guys coming in, competing with each other, I think that helps create the atmosphere we need in terms of on the offensive side and for the team overall.
What's he made of? Does he have, you know, the
He's
pressure
got some
will
moxie.
mount?
He has some moxie. He
some
really
moxie,
is.
Huh?
He's a really tough kid. And that's one of the things that we've talked about this year. It's talking about having grit, you know, as a team and as individuals. And we've done a lot of things, that we've changed a lot of things. I talked with Eric about a lot of things that they were doing in Kansas City and things that we could copy and mimic and really to get our guys out of a comfort zone. You know, I've been in the same system. I've been in the same system, you know, for 12 years.
Yeah.
Now's an opportunity to get out of that comfort zone with the new offensive coordinator, do some things differently, and that's what we're doing.
Every player I asked about Eric Bienemy was like, man, whoo! It's a sort of, their smile doesn't fade completely, but give me like the defining qualities. Of course, there's the Patrick Mahomes, there's the innovation, there's all of that, there's everything that he brings to the table in that regard, but the accountability seems to be what I'm seeing with the nonverbals from the players. Yes,
and that's one of the things that's been real interesting in terms of watching him and the way he does things. I mean, first of all, his volume is an octave above everybody else's. He's got a piercing voice that you hear from, it doesn't matter where you are. And then, and one thing he will do is, you know, and I haven't seen a lot of coaches do it, but he stops things immediately and gets them corrected. And I think that's gotten a lot of their attention. A lot of guys are used to things that were different. For a lot of years, you know, wherever they were, they come here and it's a whole different set of circumstances, a different atmosphere. A little, like I said, it's a whole octave above what everybody's used to.
Is there a quarterback that you've been around that reminds you, or Sam Howell reminds you of?
You know, he's got a little bit of Jim McMahon, a little bit of that gunslinger in him in terms of the arm.
Jim McMahon, woohoo!
I'm talking about the moxie and the arm.
I like that. The swagger is kind of sort of what I think Jahan Dawson called it.
But he's a little bit quieter. You know what I'm saying? He's a little more reserved.
Yeah.
And that's probably one thing you'd love to see him do it. He's got great movement in the pocket. Reminds a little bit of Drew Brees. And again, I'm not comparing him to Drew Brees. I'm just saying he reminds me of Drew because
we're building like a transformer of different, like a Voltron of different people. Okay, what else has he got?
That way, and then he's got, you know, it's hard to find the right kind of arm to compare it to because he's got a really live arm. He throws a good deep ball, very accurate underneath. He's got a quick release. So there's a lot of little things that he does well, and he's kind of his own unique person.
I can tell the players love him.
Yes, they do. They do.
And that's part of that moxie.
And the thing that's interesting about him is, you know, is how quickly he is to self-correct. You know, he knows when he made a mistake, and he usually doesn't repeat it. That's one of the things that we're trying to look for when we watch him on tape, make sure he didn't repeat a mistake and that he accepts the responsibility.
We're going to talk to Chase Young. I made the case on my show. You probably aren't going to like this because it's a lot of expectation and hype. There's no reason he can't be the Defensive Player of the Year this year.
No.
Contract year. He's healthy. He looks so quick.
Yes.
He looks so incredible. I think he's revved up mentally to make it happen. I mean, some of those other guys might take some sacks. We can see if we can do a group effort to sort of like get him the thing. But this was the number 3 total defense in the league last year without a healthy Chase Young. Can this defense be the best in the NFL?
I think it could be one of the best defenses in the NFL. I do. I think because a couple of things. One is it's a good young team that plays fast. Secondly, there's some really good leadership in the right places. And then third, it's going to be up to them. They work hard, continue to prepare the way they give themselves a chance to be really good. They really do. But they got to put it on themselves. They've got to take responsibility. They've got to take ownership. We can only push them so far. I think if our young men decide, they can pretty much accomplish what they want.
Success for this Washington Commanders team will be what?
Oh, continued growth. Just continue to get better and better and better. And then we'll see what happens. I like flying under the radar, like you said. I have no issues with that.
Same.
But I do think the biggest thing more than anything else is we have to take care of our business and give ourselves a chance to be successful.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I wish you all the best, and I appreciate you always being so supportive of me, taking the time, and we have a million things going on. Good luck, Coach.
Well, thank you, Ms. Kay. Always good to see you.
Thank you.